Hello, 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 and welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Lavella, and we are continuing our journey through our forever world. This is Whispering Winds, and it is a single player Let's Play, and this is Vanilla Minecraft. This time I do not have any resource packs or anything added to the game. Last episode, I talked about getting that island ready, and I've done a little bit of work. I don't know if you remember how tall it was. I didn't realize how big it was till I started taking it all down. And I said I wasn't going to make it completely flat. It's technically not completely flat, but it's pretty flat. Uh, as a rule, if building is a thing that you enjoy, the terrain you really don't want. Well, I say you don't want. I'm speaking as if, but typically building everything on a completely flat surface is kind of boring. Some terrain, some different elevations makes the build more interesting. However, that may not be something we worry about for this because, as I said, this is just a starter base. I'm not saying I'm gonna do a crap job on it. I'm not doing that, but I'm not gonna spend excessive amounts of time trying to make this perfect. This is just supposed to be a safe place in case we have a broken bed, we end up at spawn. This is just a safe place to come get geared back up so we can go get our stuff and that kind of thing. So, anyway, as you can see, I tore it down and still stone tools. Oh, let me do this real quick so we'll have the comparison. I bred some bees. Uh, See, I don't. Oh, chest open 278. Yeah, that's not 278 chests, but that's how many times I've rummaged through chests, whether it was a treasure chest or regular for storage. And I hope I'm not doing this too fast, but I don't want this to be the entire video. I just want you to be able to see if it's important to you to track. The thing is, sadly, there are content creators out there who lie about what they do off camera. And what is this? 6,000 stone. Oh, yeah, definitely. Uh, Mine 6,000 stone. Yeah. Um, there are people out there that will say, "Oh, this is my hardcore world," and or this is, my whatever, and they're like, "This is what I've done," this is off camera, but it's all legit. And then somehow somebody figures out they're watching the videos closely or whatever, and they notice, oh, they just happen to have all this extra stuff, and I don't have any information showing that they got that legitimately. And the thing is, like I said, if it's a single player world and it's your world, you should play it however you want to. But if you're a content creator, don't lie to your viewers. If you needed to go into creative mode for some reason, just tell them. If you needed to go into peaceful mode for some reason, just tell them. Don't lie about it. Don't do that. It's not cool and it's not necessary. It's not necessary. Most people don't care. Just don't lie about it. Anyway, these are we've done a little bit of unaliving, as Captain Sparkles would say. I did take out a wandering trader and kept his llamas, as you can see. Oh my gosh, it takes them forever to stop being angry. Good lord. I was doing like rows of oak saplings and birch saplings, and I'd have them planted on I have this huge row, and I had killed the wandering trader, and because I wanted the leads, but I wanted to keep the llamas for animal farms, just for funsies. Excuse me. Anyway, I had this huge row, and I started all the way down here, and I was chopping trees and breaking leaf blocks, and I got down here and they were still spitting at me. I was like, wow, you guys just really hold a grudge. But anyway, as I was clearing this, I found this chest and I left it here for the video. It was in the sand. Look, it's a shipwreck treasure chest. Well, it has a heart of the sea. How cool is that? I'm guessing it belongs to that ship over there. So we're breaking it. When you if single player world, I don't know what your rules are for whatever SMP single survival multiplayer that you might be on, or what rules you have with your friends if you're gaming with your friends. But uh, typically, I feel that breaking a treasure chest, whether it's in a primarily the shipwreck chest, I feel like that's a good idea because I know that there's some at one point, I don't know with the updates and stuff, but at one point there was a thing where if try to see how much of this I can combine real quick. There was a thing that if you got a map, sometimes that map would take you to a place where you had already been. Okay. Okay, that's just full. What's what the problem is? These are full. Okay, well, we'll do this. And I still have these two potions. And we will put the apples up and eat this fish for a while. Okay. As you can see, I made a box. It was so I had a safe place to go AFK. And for those of you who are not familiar, AFK means away from keyboard, meaning that I left the game running, but I wasn't sitting here playing. I was probably doing dishes or taking out the trash or whatever, but I needed to keep the game loaded because I was trying to farm trees. And I don't know if you can hear it, but the dogs are in a pretty good mood right now. They're playing and wrestling, and there's a lot of fussing and stuff going on in the background. Okay, actually, first thing I want to do, we might have enough iron. Let's see how many chests we have. We have some, but we have enough wood. We can make some more if need be. I want to make some hoppers. I need 3 hoppers minimum. Okay, and we're going to need more chests. So, we don't need that many, I don't think. Yeah, that should do us. Let's make a basic, easy smelter real quick. And let's put it... This place is pretty well lit. I haven't lit up the areas surrounding the island, but the island's pretty well lit up. Let's go ahead and put it on this side because it's the least invasive of the area where we want to build. Oh, I need my furnace. And now we'll just make another one. Okay. So, furnace. We'll put... Yeah, we'll put it there. We'll put the output chest there. Fuel chest there. Okay, and then... No. That is not correct. Not at all. That is not right. Okay. Fuel needs to go here. No, it doesn't. Why am I second guessing myself all of a sudden? I've done this a bazillion times. What is weird? What is going on? Okay, first of all, let's do that. I know that's right. We need more top. Let me grab some more cobble. Let's add another layer. These are slabs because I didn't want anything to spawn up here. I'll go ahead and do this one too. I don't think we need one here, but we'll do it anyway just to be safe. Okay. I am not a redstone person, by the way. Now, I would like to learn, not necessarily to become a redstone person, but I would like to, there we go. I would like to learn how to make just basic stuff like a cow farm or a pig farm or a chicken farm, just so we always have food. Or when we get wolves and tame them, and we have dogs, then we'll always have meat for them, whether we have rotten flesh or not, and just basic stuff. I'd like to learn how to set up a villager that's constantly growing crops for us, and that kind of thing. Okay, so let's put our fuel in there. And yes, it's working because it's going in there. Okay, and that's working. It's loading into there. We'll give it a chance to smelt something, and then we'll check the output, make sure this is working, and then we'll move on. It is. Okay. Yeah, the reason I wanted to set that up is so it would be working while we're in the area, uh, because whether we use stone for the build or not, it's probably going to be a major part of the build, like doing the bridge and pathway and stuff over there. So I wanted that to be a thing. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and put this stuff up just so I can have clean pockets and see what I'm dealing with. All right. So actually, let's grab some more. Uh, my initial plan was to do primarily just birch and oak. There was a lot of sand on this island. There was a lot of sandstone. This chest is all sand. This chest is sand and sandstone, probably about half and half. So I'm thinking that's going to be part of the build, like a major part. They are having so much fun over there. Okay. So let's plan this out a little bit. This is probably not going to be one of those bases that has like a living room and a kitchen and a blah blah blah. This is probably mostly just going to be a storage room and some basic crop farms and some animals. So, I still want it to look decent. I'm not saying we're just going to throw up, cobble for everything, but I need to. That is all coming down. I started playing, as I think I've mentioned before, I started playing in February of 2011. And so, yeah, I've played for a minute, but back in the day, cobble was cobble and oak were pretty much your only options. Excuse me, I had to get a drink. Um, so even though cobble is an amazing block, especially because you can smelt it and get it back to regular stone, and then there's so many variations you can do with that, and there are quite a few variations you can do with cobble. So even though it's like one of the most basic blocks there is, it's still pretty useful. But I just have this thing in my brain that's like, yeah, I'd rather not. Okay, we're gonna do little crop farms. Let's see. Well, let's find. We're gonna say this is the center-ish. Okay. And I tend to do massive storage rooms, but we're not doing that here. This is just a basic. And I'm telling that to myself more than you. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see what kind of space that leaves us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And no, I have not done any planning in creative mode. I typically do not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There have been times I've gone to creative mode when I'm trying to figure something out, like a sphere or something like that. But I'm one of those people that if I build it in creative, then I don't have the urge to build it anymore. It's like, oh, I've already built that. Let's build something different. So it doesn't do me a whole lot of good to go to creative mode and practice building something. Okay, and yes, I'm gonna be quiet while I'm building 'cause my brain and my mouth don't always work at the same time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do 7 across. And I know I took out that torch, so we're gonna have a dead spot over here. Okay, let's see what that does. Hmm. Okay, I don't hate it. Let's go ahead and sleep just 'cause. Just 'cause. And you know what? I didn't set my timer. Let me set a timer real quick, or we'll be here a lot longer than you really want to be for an episode. Alright, I'm giving myself another 15 minutes. We'll see what we can get accomplished in that time. Okay, so this gives us a shape. It's not horrible. It's not a perfect circle, but it's not a square box either. Okay, and let's see, you have beets, potatoes, carrots, wheat. Those are the basic crops. So, what we could do is basic crops: potatoes, carrots, beets, and wheat. That's 4 crops. What we could do. I'm thinking. Let me think. See if we have. Yeah. Yeah, 'cause we really don't need it to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7 just seems to be the lucky number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And then we'll bring that across. And this can be a little crop farm. How about that? We don't need anything massive here. As I said, basic, 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 basic. Okay, so that's 7, and that's 7. So let's do this. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we will come straight across. Okay. And then let's come over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then straight across. And we have one more to do. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and straight across like that. Okay, so that's where we're going to put our crops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll say this is close enough to center. I do not like that being stone. I don't know why. I never have. Let me get some sandstone, or some sand, rather. Let me get some sand. And I know we got some pumpkins at some point. Yes, we did. Okay, that gives us a couple left over. I know there are better ways for lining, but we're going to go old school. Well, I guess it doesn't matter if we use sand or not then, because we're going to have this in here, but I still want sand. Okay. Sand. No, not sand. No, we're not going to use sand. Okay, we're going to put that there, and we're going to put that there, and we're going to make some jack-o'-lanterns. Okay, we're going to put that there, and that there. Yeah. Now that's not going to be enough light probably, but it'll give some. Okay. That's how I used to light up everything back in the old days, by the way. Okay. One thing about being on the island, we never have to worry about a water source. We're going to get these crops started just so that we have them growing while we're doing things. And no, you should not do that. You should not dig underneath your feet. If you are new to Minecraft, that's a big no-no, because you never know if the block you're standing on is the only thing saving you from falling into a lake of lava. So digging out from under your own feet, or anybody else's feet, as a matter of fact, not the safest idea out there. But I tend to get sloppy sometimes because I just, like, I'm playing on a server, and the server that I'm currently playing on, not real happy with, to be honest. But anyway, um, I have a tendency to. I have what I would call OP gear. It's in-game content gear. My armor is unbelievable. My weapons are pretty nice. Everything I have is easy. And I mean, it wasn't that way when I first started. Don't get me wrong. I did have to work up to that. But um, I don't struggle on that server. And let's see. I thought I had another. This is why I don't like. Okay. Okay, we didn't allow for pumpkins and melons, but we will worry about that at another time. Okay, wheat, carrots, la 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 la. Thought we had potatoes. We do have a potato. Mm. Oh, I killed some pillagers. There's an ominous bottle. Got a banner. Are those the only crops? We don't have any beetroot yet. Okay. Let's make a hoe. Maybe two. Okay. Huh. Did pretty good with that. Okay. Let's plant our potato. Yay! I'm exhausted. Okay, so we have a potato planted. Let's see how much of this irrigates. We'll go ahead and hoe all of it just for funsies. And we'll see. Oh, well. I'm going to jump on it. And all right. We'll give that a minute. Excuse me. I don't know if you noticed or not, but we're not getting the ding, 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 da ding, ding, ding that we were getting before with my mic. Oh my goodness. I did so much research. I just Googled and Googled and Googled and Googled and Googled and Googled and looked up Reddit and just all this stuff trying to figure out my mic and the constant disconnect and the fact that my voice wasn't recording as loud as I wanted it to and all this kind of stuff and I just was having so much trouble. And so as far as the sound levels, oh, we need to go sleep. I need to put my bed on me so I can, because now that I'm building, before I was just clearing land, so I was just running back and forth. But I think we're going to pick the bed up this time. But anyway, so for the sound and for the sound level, it took me forever. And this one post I was reading, somebody else had the same problem, and I said I was going to grab the bed. Someone else had the same problem, and there was like a Windows support person that said, okay, what I need you to do is go to this link and do what they say, and then go to that link and do what they say, and blah, 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 and then come back and post all the results so it gives me the information I need to try to help, your situation. And so they did. And I had, like I said, I had, read. I don't know how many posts I read. I don't know how much. I know it was easily a half hour, if not longer, anywhere between half hour and an hour that I had spent, you know, trying to figure out why I was only getting 1% of my microphone when I tested it, and what was I doing wrong, and all that. And something in one of those posts made my brain click, and it was simply because I had my mic moved too far away from my mouth. It was that simple. And I wanted to hug somebody, but I also wanted to punch somebody in the face. I was so frustrated. I was so frustrated. Oh my gosh. I was just like, really? Really? That's what this is? I was so worried and I thought it was going to be so major and I was. But the thing is, I'm using a different headset. My son got me spoiled years ago. He bought me I've mentioned he's an adult. He's going to be 31 this year, so he's grown. He's had a job for a minute. Anyway, he bought me a wireless headset for my birthday like a million years ago. And oh, spoiled. Oh my gosh. I had that head I loved it so much. And so yeah, it was a big deal. But that means now that's all I want. I don't want anything else. So he, like I said, he bought that for me for my birthday a bazillion years ago, and I would keep using it, even though the wires were cracking and I was actually getting shocked. The thing was shocking me on my neck because the wires were cracked and broken, but I wouldn't give it up. And he's like, "Mom, I will get you a different headset." I'm like, "Nope, I want a wireless headset, or I don't want one at all." And eventually, I got a tax refund or something. I don't know what happened, but anyway, uh, or maybe he bought me another one. He may have bought me another one for another birthday, and uh, so anyway, that was the thing. And then eventually, the same thing with that one, the wires. And so listen here, kiddos. Your earbuds and all that kind of stuff that you have with all these little bitty. Don't wrap them. Don't wrap them. Don't put them in a neat, tight little. That you're damaging those wires. Don't do that. It's I realize neat and tidy is preferred, but some things are not meant to be coiled and wrapped and all that kind of stuff. Unless they're super cheap and you don't mind replacing them every other week, don't do that. Anyway, uh, okay, we still need beats, but what we have is in. Oh my goodness, and there's the timer already. But anyway, I've got to finish telling you my story. Not that it's a great story, but I'm going to finish telling it anyway. Uh, so then eventually those went bad, and I bought myself a headset, and I had those for a while, and then the part that you fit over your head, I don't know what you call it. It looks like a U, the part that sits on top of your skull, and then has the earpieces on the side. But that part broke. It snapped. I had it. I had gray tape on it. It was flopping. One of the ears would flop, but I didn't care. I wasn't giving him up. And he was like, "Mom, I can buy you another headset." Nope. It has to be wireless, so we're not spending that kind of money right now. And because they're not cheap, the kind that I get are not cheap. And I was wearing that floppy headset forever. But on that headset, I had to have my mic as far away from my mouth as possible. I had to physically bend it as far away as it would go because my voice is naturally loud. My voice naturally carries. I don't need I can do public speaking without a microphone and people can hear me all over the room. My voice carries. I should have been in theater or something. I don't know. But anyway, so my microphone, I had to have it pushed all the way back. Well, with this new headset, and it's a different brand, apparently I have to have it like in my mouth, and that was all it was. It was just the where I had my mic positioned. So then I next problem was the dinging, the constantly ding 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 with my the laptop saying, "Oh, you have this problem. No, you don't. Yes, you do. No, you don't. There's your mouse. No, you don't. Yes, you do. No, you don't." You guys might have thought that was annoying for you in the episode. Trust and believe. I got to hear it all the time. So, yeah. So, anyway, that was a problem. And so I started researching that and looking at stuff, trying to figure out what in the world could it possibly be. And I did about, I'd say 30 minutes or so. I guess that's kind of like my breaking point. Like I'll research that for something for a while, and then I'm just like, okay, I need help. So I went and talked to my son's roommate, and he's like, "Do you have any extra mice?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Let's dig those out." I said, "Okay." I have this big, huge black duffel bag that I keep in the top of my closet. I have like 3 old keyboards in there, 2 or 3 old mice. I have power cords out the yin yang. It's my electronics graveyard. And my son makes fun of me because I don't throw anything away. I keep that stuff forever. And I do mean forever. I've got stuff in there that I've had since my son was little. I have a power strip in there that an ex brought over with him from England when my son was 9. My son he'll be 31 in November. So when I say I keep that stuff forever, I'm not exaggerating. And my son just looks in there, he just rolls his eyes. He's like, "Mother, I just don't know about you." But anyway, anyway, so that's so I dig it out. I just grab one of the mice in there, and I'm like, well, all these are in here for a reason, but I do have them saved because I want them in case, just in case we need them for something. And he's like, okay, well, try a different mouse real quick. First mouse I grabbed, no more problem. It was that easy. So, the lesson here, boys and girls, is sometimes things are not as complicated as we make them. Sometimes things are just that simple. Just needed a different mouse. Just need to move the mic away from your mouth or move it closer to your mouth. Sometimes it's that simple. But anyway, I know. I'm a giver. That's okay. I'm happy. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch my video. I honestly appreciate it. I sincerely appreciate it. Thank you so much. And we will see you later.